folks, it's Sarah with Obadiah's, and today I am here with Bill, and he has been a Profab dealer for 25 years and basically has the absolute most knowledge and expertise when it comes to these boilers. So I'm here today in Wisconsin to pick his brain and learn more about these units, and today we are going to have him talk about what happens when an Empyre unit gets burnt up and what pieces and parts need to be replaced.
Well, when you burn up a stove or leave the door open or ash pan open, they boil over. I burnt the boiling up water out of it, that the heating compartment where all the controls are will get too hot and the wires will melt. And the way you can tell that is, first off, is with this cable hooks on to this well. Get it open here. Should open this beforehand. This well is in the back of the stove, in the back of the control panel. This bulb goes in this control panel, in this, and then on the original ones that came from the stove, there's a little small Allen set screw in here that held this in there. When the stove burns up, most of the time this plastic will burn up and burn all the coating off it, but it'll get full of melted plastic in here and you will not be able to get this out of there. So most of the time this well will have to be ordered along with this 5-foot cable. This cable then on the other end hooks in to the control panel or the Lovejoy control. In the back of the unit there's this is a blue and a brown wire here. This is a control that tells the temperature of the stove, that tells this temperature. The blue and the brown go here. This 4-pin connector here is not used, and then it's the white and black power. There's the next one is a blank, so you don't use that. And then there's other 2 colors here, depends on the wire on your stove. Before you take the wires off of this and take it out of the control panel, take your owner's manual and color code this, what this is. Because this is the blue and the brown, and this is the power here, and then whatever power is on the end of this, that way, because I don't know if you can see this, but there's a small flat screwdriver here that controls all these. And when you pull these out, these clips go on the side of the stove. Once you put it through the control, you take all these screws out and take all the wires off, take the old one out, put the new one in, then these clips go on the side and they clip on, and this is what holds it into the control panel. Before you put that on, there's a small gasket that goes on, keeps it weatherproof. This just slips on the end of it here. Most of the time the other one is brittle when you take it off, or burnt up so you can't find it anyway. So that goes on the control panel like this. Make sure you get that on there, otherwise you're going to short it out right away from the weather. On the back page of your owner's manual, it shows you, this is an older model style, this is a newer one with the float switches, the snap disc. I color code it right here, so you know, you never forget it, right where it is.
Okay.
And this is for my stove, on these colors here. It's the blue, the brown, that 4-pin, we skipped that, and then it's the white and black for power. Now I colored that out of there so nobody uses that, because this controller is actually used for different heating and or cooling,
right.
Both.
Right.
I program these when I get them, when I come from the factory, I program them to Profab specifications. And then on my stove, the last 2 were yellow and red for control panel. I've had people say that, tell me that newer stoves, those wires have changed colors.
Oh,
So I color code it, that way you know your stove, and put it right in your owner's manual.
okay.
The snap disc is way in the back of that, where this control panel goes. This snap disc is way in the back. This is an automatic snap disc. It'll kick out at 190 if your stove overheats. And when this kicks out with these wires on it, it will not let the fan start. It will not let you boil the stove out anymore. If the door or the ash pan is open, it's still going to boil. If you catch it before you boil the water out and burn everything up, this will not kick back in till it gets down to it's got a 40-degree differential.
Okay.
So from 190, it'll go back to about 150, so it'll kick in 145, 150, 152, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
You had mentioned, asked about bypassing this.
Yes.
This we will not bypass.
Okay.
Under no circumstances, because you have got no control over your stove.
Okay.
So if your fan sticks open, this will shut your fan off. If you bypass this, this is a safety hazard if you do that. And it's also, this has to be installed on the stove for UL, because that stove has been UL certified, and that has to be in there. This has also been UL certified.
So you never bypass it to keep the stove running, but you could bypass it to check and see if it's the switch that's causing the blower not to function.
Most of the time, if you let the stove cool back down, if this controller's still working and this gets back down to 140, 150 degrees, and it doesn't kick back in, if it gets down to 140, most likely it's the wires are causing it not to. If this reads it accurate, it reads the temperature, this cable is okay, this is okay.
Okay.
This very seldom goes out unless it gets hot enough where it burns this plastic off of here.
Okay.
And that's typically, everything is melted in there, and all you see is a black gob of plastic down here.
Okay.
There's no question if it's burnt out or not.
It's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, one of the first ones that will go out, this is a 2 amp reset switch.
Okay.
This goes through 2 wires hook onto it. The power, when this calls for heat, when this drops in temperature down to your set point where it kicks on, the power goes through this, goes down to your solenoid, and from the solenoid it also transfers power to the fan.
Okay.
You can bypass this to see what's going on. I don't recommend it because this is a 2 amp, and if you send more power to your solenoid and to the fan, you can
Fry it?
fry it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a 2 amp for a reason. If there's any extra draw on it besides this 2 amp, something else is wrong.
Okay.
And then we go down, also on your stove, there's 2 switches. One for the light and one for the damper to turn the power on the stove.
Okay.
These most of the time will melt like everything else, and these just automatically get replaced because
And what is this part called?
those are the damper switch.
Damper switch.
Damper switch and light switch.
Okay.
There's 2 of the same kind. They got twin spades on them, I guess. There's 2 spades on them.
Okay.
And then we get down to it. This very seldom burns out unless they get extremely hot, but this is a solenoid.
Okay.
We keep these covers on so they don't, because these 2 wires here bend pretty easy. So this comes from the factory, and we keep that on there. These, most of the time, when the stove is not in operation, this drops down. There's a cover on top of the fan, drops down, and when the stove calls for heat, the power comes through here, opens this up, opens the cover, and turns the fan. It's all wired together.
Well, if you guys find these product overviews helpful, if you enjoy seeing this information, please don't forget, give me a thumbs up, you guys. That helps me so much. It keeps me traveling on the road to produce more videos for you guys. Also, do not forget to click the subscribe button in the corner of the channel. If you click that little bell there, that'll notify you of all of the latest videos. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day.